we will take up the Shanti Mantra, the peace chant, which is common to many of the Upanishads. It's Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunatu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Visavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May that the reality protect us, both the teacher as well as the student together, by revealing knowledge. May that truth protect us both by vouchsafing the results of that knowledge. May we attain vigor together. Let what we study be invigorating. May we not quarrel with each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. The Katha Upanishad, the first chapter. As we have seen, that the boy has been told to go to the realm of Yama, that's death. And the boy then decides to go. But he's curious. Why did my father tell me to go to Yama, the Lord of Death? You send a person when there is some utility in sending that person. He says, I don't see any kind of use that Yama will be able to do through me. So, we are on the sixth verse. I'll chant the mantra in the original Sanskrit, and then the translation. We will take this up for discussion then. Anupashyayata purve pratipashyatata pare sasyameva martya pachyate sasyameva jayate punaha. Consider successively how your forefathers behaved, and consider how others behave now. Man decays and dies like corn, and emerges again like corn. So, he's speaking the Upanishads, the words of the Upanishads. The idea is, in these days when we talk about where has morality come from, why? We are always making judgments. Our perception is always judgmental. Our speech is always judgmental. Everything is judgmental. What we do is abstract people's behaviors across the board. We see young children and old children and grown-ups and old people, and we abstract a sort of an ethical standard. So when we say, see how your forefathers behaved, he's also taking recourse to a kind of a long tradition. And the tradition is this, that there is certain things called Shila, that's called behavior of a particular class of people. And you can step out of that. Yes, because these were the highest ethical standards that were ever laid down for people, of this particular class. He say, see, I remember one time when I had just been sent as an editor of one of our order's journals. And then I asked the senior monk, well, tell me something. I'm so humbled by being selected and say, oh, nothing. Just try to remember all the previous editors. I said, yeah. Oh, that will keep you. I said, those were stalwarts, yes, but then we need to have an ideal. And that ideal has been embodied by people down the ages. You've got to now emulate him so that you can embody those ideals. And what is the highest ideal there? That a person is divine. That's the ideal. And all your actions will stem from that, will flow from that central idea. So there was a great, you can say, tradition already. Fathers and grandfathers and great-grandfathers. In any ritual, you've got to reflect and pray on the previous generations. There you are. And there are some families that say, no, not 7, 14. And one of the first things that a child is taught is this. 7 generations or 14 generations, whatever. And they will speak of them, of the glory of this tradition. So the child will be encouraged to live up to those standards. See, in every culture you have the hero myth. And the hero goes out and then he receives help, he conquers trials and this, and then returns home a changed person. In fact, if you can understand Joseph Campbell's myth of the hero, well, you can understand a lot of mythological tales in almost all cultures. And even in the present, you can say movies, etc. They're all hero myths. We also had all these hero myths, but there was a slight distinction. We also had spiritual heroes. They never went on conquering people. Yeah, they conquered with their hearts. That's all. So, this is just to kind of encourage. Yes, you have to have an ideal, but the ideal is spiritual. So he says, consider successively how your forefathers behaved. Oh yes, that was very important. And consider now how others behave, those around you. Now, what happens is, like I said, we abstract a sense of ethics. You don't need somebody telling you, do good, be good. You know it. It's in your bones. And you've abstracted this thing. And whenever you do something wrong or bad, your body reacts. Oh yes, your mind reacts. There's something in you that is, you can say, now discordant. I'm not with the truth. I'm not with the good. Then the second line of this is, man decays and dies like corn and emerges again, mankind. Why is this? Yes, we all know this kind of. People are born, people live, people die. And again they are reborn in tradition. You do not have to sacrifice your truth for anything. Even life is held much lower than truth. If this becomes ingrained in a person, even life is nothing. I hold truth to be even superior to anything, even life. So, say everything can be sacrificed for truth. Yes, don't worry. If you die now, you're going to be born again, reborn again many times. So this life of yours is of no consequence. Truth is of consequence. And that is the reason why we are told, you can sacrifice everything for truth. Truth cannot be sacrificed for any other thing. Yes, Swami Vivekananda says, if you've got to make truth square with your society, or society dies. The time when you slip off from this path, you go towards the other things, there you are. You've spelled your own doom. And that's the reason why all mythologies, all religions, all fables try to tell you, that's the way you got to do this. They might say God has commanded, this God has commanded, and that God has commanded. But really it is truth, it is what protects us. That's why in the Mahabharata also, Draupadi says, you protect truth, truth protects you. So this is the meaning of, he's saying, there is no point, the commentator says, there is no point in breaking your own words. Protect your truth. Tell his father, send me to death. These words uttered by the boy to his father. His father was kind of hesitating. What have I done? I said it in anger. And the boy, as we know, faith took possession of him. And faith, as we have seen, is the discernment between what is good and what is bad, what is right and wrong, what is real, what is unreal, and holds on to the real, the true, the good, and the unselfishness, everything. So this is what has already taken possession, and these are the words spoken to the father. Hey, you have said something, you've got to now follow it, walk the talk, as they say. Like Sri Ramakrishna says in his humble way, well, Manmukh ek kar, that is, make your speech and your mind one. If you can do that, there is no power in the universe that's going to obstruct you. And in this age, Ramakrishna said, there is actually no need for all these rigorous austerities and penances and all these things. In this age, it is truth that is the means, sadhana, to realize God. So here we are. People are born, people die. This is a vast, vast, vast world. And the question of rebirth comes, we won't go into it. In our own individual lives, sometimes we feel we have lived multiple lives. Oh yes. And we look back and see, my God, see that. I did this, I did that, I did this also. Yeah, we are kind of living one life in a kind of compacted way. How many lives have crammed themselves into this one life? So that's the way you look at it. Don't worry. Even if you do not, you can say, hold doctrine of reincarnation, it doesn't matter. The idea is to stop every kind of reincarnation. We don't have to. You have finished off all your experiences. And it is seen that, when you come to Sri Ramakrishna, he'll do that work for you. Oh yes. He'll compress a few lifetimes into one. Now go through it. your life becomes intense. Spirituality and religion, the people say, oh, you must pray to God. No, that's just the surface of things. Every religious life or every spiritual life is a most intense life. If your life is not intense, it's kind of it's like a happy-go-lucky, ha ha ho ho. Yes, there is joy, but you're going through things extremely quickly. You're going through the experiences extremely quickly. And that's what Sri Ramakrishna does for you. Don't worry. He said, yeah, you come. Wait. I tell people, you see, when you come to this Ramakrishna, he is not going to say, don't bother about anything. Just come and stick around with me. He'll make you work till the very end. Yeah. And Swami Shivananda Mahapurush Maharaj says, I don't know, this drum has been perforated, it's broken. Yet he beats it and gets some music out of it. So that's the idea. So we live a very intense life, and in that intense life, you've got to hold on to that ideal. Imagine a young boy who's telling his father, who's hesitating, should I send this boy or no? Well, the boy solves the problem. Yeah, you've got to. You've got to stick to your words. And the next is, we see him now in the realm of the god of death. Vaishvanara pravishati atithir brahmano grihan tasaitagam shantim kurvanti haravaiva svatodakam. A Brahmana guest enters the house like fire. For him, they accomplish this kind of propitiation. O death, carry water to him. Now what happens is, as we know, this boy, he goes out. The old idea in India was, when you go out to do your holy, you can see, alms collecting, the householder kind of waits for people to come. And who are the people? In fact, the three classes of people, almost 75% of the people used to go to beg for alms, food. The young students, those who had retired and gone to the forest to practice austerities, the vanaprasthis, brahmacharis, vanaprasthis, and the sannyasis, the monks, the nuns, they used to come out to the village, ask for, and then take the, you can say, food and leave. That's simple as that. And that householder couldn't eat before he has given everyone, whoever has come to his house. So that's the reason why they say that the life of a householder is very bad. Why? That guy has to serve the whole society. Yeah. The very nature of a householder, the very duties of a householder will make that person unselfish. You can't be selfish at all. The whole society depends on you. There. Secondly, when especially young students used to go, and it's a rule for monks also, you do not enter the house if the man of the house is not present. You stay outdoors in a kind of a small porch or a patio. Wait out there. You can't enter. And imagine he goes to the house of death and death is not there. He's absent. He's kind of busy, He goes around here and there. Hey, that guy needs me. That guy needs me. Hey, come on, let's go. So he was absent for 3 days, and the rule is that person who has come to beg, he cannot enter the house. At the same time, he has to enter the house because he's come to the house of death. He wants to meet him because his father has finally sent him. You go out there, okay, fine. That student or monk or whoever has to stay hungry. He can't enter the house, he cannot leave. And that person has to stay hungry. Well, this is hungry in the sense of he cannot go to any other house now. When, okay, you wait for a while, he'll come. That student is waiting. And you can't eat. I don't know if you can drink water, but I suppose so. It's a trial. So the people in the house, the commentator says, either his ministers or his wives, they are all kind of in a fix. They can't invite this boy in. No, he's not going to listen to you all. He's going to wait for the man of the house and then enter. So the scripture also says, Vaishvanara Pavishati. These students, they used to practice austerities and study the Vedas. They were like fires. They were burning with the idea of this spiritual light. Their goal is spirituality. And there are some guys so highly energetic with what they are doing. They are like kind of fire. And that's why they say, this kind of person, if he is rebuffed or said anything against him, that comes back to you. And it's like fire. That boy or that person is like a kind of a burning fire. He'll burn everything down. All your hopes and your desires and all the good luck and everything out. So here he's saying the Brahmana guest enters the house like fire. And that is why the first thing that they used to do is bring water, wash the boys or the girls' feet, and then give a kind of a seat called the asana. You can sit. The problem is here. This person, this boy, he is now, if he is agitated, there is a big problem with the householders. If he is made to wait and he is agitated, that agitation itself will serve as a kind of a bad fortune for everything that the householder does. In the old days, your spiritual practices itself are compared to like fire. Like we have before just practicing the lighting the fire of yajna, that is the fire sacrifice. They used to do it by rubbing two sticks, old. They were called arani sticks. They used to rub and obtain fire from there. That was the old way of it. Spiritual practices also is a kind of a rubbing your higher nature against the lower nature. And a fire emerges. The fire of sadhana. So this boy has entered like fire itself. And that boy has to be now say, okay, this is the water and this is it. But only the man of the house can do it. There are, the author or the sage has used his death's name as Vaivasvata. Vaivasvata is the son of Vivaswan. Vivaswan is the higher god. That is, these gods have a kind of a lineage also. When you say Vaivasvata, okay, then people will understand. Oh, he's from that line, that guy. There's also the Swami Vivekananda says that he was the first person who died, and that he became a god. That's a nice way. He also says that actually he's a very nice guy. He's not bad. So we have demonized death. Terrible. Last time I told you about the story about Savitri and Satyavan. How love could conquer death. That is the god of death. And how he let Savitri, the young princess, take away the soul of the prince, Satyavan. So he's there. There are certain things which can transcend death. Like I spoke about truth and love and all these great qualities, they transcend death. So he's a nice guy. I don't know why people get frightened of him. However, the boy has reached this realm of the fathers. He is the god who looks after the realm of the father, the Pitriloka. This realm is attained through sacrifices, karmana Pitriloki. What sacrifices? Vedic sacrifices. Suppose you don't want to go there. Yeah, you don't want to go there, then do some meditation. And in the old days, it was called, meditations were called Vidya. Vidya Devaloki. You can do the meditation and go up higher. And suppose you don't want to either go to the realm of the fathers or the realm of the gods, well then the rest of the Upanishad will tell you what to do. So this was an old traditional way of people used to wait outside till the man of the house comes. And there is something called, you must give with faith and humility. Shraddhaya deyam, ashraddhaya deyam. It's because this is a part of your religious duties. Not a part, it's a part of your duties. You've got to do it. And there was also conditions. You simply can't go and stand out there. You've got to give me this. No. You said there's no food today here. We haven't cooked. You got to leave that place and go. So there was a rule. You will first go to 3 homes, and if you don't get anything, go to the next 2 homes, 5, and if you don't get anything, then go hungry. Yeah. So this is the way. You're not going to die if you don't get food one day. And so what happens is, they used to do it in a kind of like it's a madhukari. Like bees, it goes to this flower, sips a little, go to the next flower, sips a little, collecting. So you got to be like a kind of a bee. Collect a little from this house, collect a little from this. So don't have to burden one particular house. Oh, this guy's come again. So these were certain rules, and you've got to do it before noon. Yeah. And then you don't have to again go out for your dinner. There. Why? One meal is good enough for you. Oh, the Buddhists still do it. Yeah, just one meal. And one meal in the day, yeah. Whatever you eat after night becomes poison. That's a Ayurvedic principle. Oh, that becomes kind of. So when you eat, you've got to eat during the day, and that's all. Modern ultra processed foods will leave you hungry in a couple of minutes rather. However, this is the traditional way of it. That young spiritual beggar has come like fire. He's so focused, he's so pure, He is full of this fire of, you can say, knowledge also. And the householder brings water. They wash the feet, wash the hands, take a seat, keep. Now tell me, they say. So the next verse speaks of the consequences of not probably taking care of this kind of this protocol. If the protocol is broken, Asha pratikshe sangatam sunritam cha Ishtapurte putra pashugangsha sarvan Etad vringte purusha salpya medaso Yasyana vasati brahmano grihe. Here, if in anyone's house a brahmana guest abides without food, that brahmana destroys hope and expectations, the results of holy association and sweet discourse, sacrifices and charities, sons and cattle, all these. Of who? Of a man of little intelligence. A person who has, maybe the person comes and get out. Why is this kind of, and even in later literature, of course, this class of people, they did take advantage of their, you can say, yeah, I'm a Brahmana. Well, the very idea that this person, the Brahmin, he is supposed to be God-like. And that is instilled in the very beginning of his life. You got to be God-like. You're no more a human being. You've been born a human being, but you are God-like. And these God-like people, they were there in society. In the Middle Ages, there was a king, one particular king in Bengal. After he conquered a few, you can say, counties, the local people, they had to be inculcated with new values. And how did they do it? Nothing. They brought a lot of Brahmins from the north and said, I'll give you tax-free, you can say, land, and you can come and stay and get. So they brought these people, they settled them there. Why? People will look at them and learn what is religion in practice. These people are God-like people. They had no worldliness in them. And this is what, that a God-like person has come in your house and you have not treated that person properly. What happens is everything is destroyed. So the list, as I said, destroys hope and expectation, the results of holy association and sweet discourse. We'll come down to this. The translation is not a very happy one, sweet discourse. Sacrifices and charities, children and cattle, all the wealth and everything is kind of destroyed. It becomes fragmented. Why? A God has come to your house and that God is not adored. And the God does not want anything, just kind of little food and whatever drink. Does this actually happen? Yes. It does happen. And it was my good fortune to see some of these kind of people. They had nothing. The society gave them the highest prestige. You're supposed to be God-like. You behave like a God. Okay? And they kept them in abject poverty. You can't own land. You can't own your own house. You can't cook. They had a house just to sleep they never had a kitchen. Otherwise, this guy will start busying himself with it. They are supposed only to be devoted to the gods and devoted to the Vedas. They gave them everything and they pulled out everything else. So what did they pull out? All these things. They kept them in poverty and dependent on others. So there will always be a kind of mutual interaction. So here this person has come and his ministers, the god of death's ministers, all his wives, telling him, see, all these things will be burned down. The house will be burned down. Our lives will be shattered if this person is not honored. And here he's saying a person of small intelligence, of a person of little intelligence, might have kind of make a disparaging statement or something like that. And there it's over. If that person leaves and goes, in the movie of Shankaracharya, the boy, he goes to one house and the lady is extremely poor. She's saying, my husband goes out to work and he earns only that which is necessary for the day. We don't hoard. And he was very sympathetic. He gives him a little. Then he goes to the next house, and the next house, the guy is standing there with a long queue of students and, joyfully serving them. And then the Shankaracharya, the boy, sees, oh, he's got a big house and his granaries are full and everything. So when it was his turn to receive the food, he said, I'm not going to receive food from this house. And it was a kind of a disaster for this person. Why? What wrong have I done? My food is pure and this and that. Saying, see that lady there who's your neighbor, she does not hoard for the next day. Whatever has to be done, do it for that day. And you're hoarding all these things. Your food is impure. And this person runs behind you. Please. It's like that. There's the biggest disaster waiting for a householder. When somebody who comes to do this holy begging says, no, I won't take food from your house. So here they are cautioning the god of death. Be careful. But he's a god of death. Even if he's a god of death, that will not save him from this kind of, this behavior. Because even in the Mundaka Upanishad, yam manaso loka samvibhati, that is a person, a pure person who can call even the gods to him. Yes, come here, and God will come. Here, what can I do for you? Yeah. So yes, is it true? Yes, it's true. These are your servants. You've become the knower of the self. You have become the very self. They're all there to serve you. The whole universe will be there to serve you. What do you want, sir? Can we do something for you? No, you don't need to do anything. These Paramahamsas, these states that the whole universe worships such a soul. So gods are nothing, just kind of those who have gone before us and those who have done a lot of good deeds and something like that, and they've got some kind of elevated status. Remember that this life and this body is the best you can ever get in this universe. That's important. We always try to look, this kind of a god, they must be superior. No. Even the gods get jealous sometimes of human beings. There, here you can attain to the highest experience, liberation, right from the human body. You don't have to take any other body. So the human body is considered extremely precious. Life is considered extremely precious. All the lower forms of life or higher forms of life, yeah, there may be experiences. But here, pleasure and pain and joy and sorrow, everything is evenly balanced. Yes. So we ought to be happy that we've come and we've got this human birth. It's extremely rare. And now that we've got it, don't waste it. That's it. Yeah, generally what happens is we waste it here. We can get another life. We might not get another life immediately. Might have to wait. The population is rising and rising. It's gone to about 8 billion. There's a long queue out there. Can I be born? No, wait. And besides, your karma has to be evenly balanced. Whatever you have done, both good and bad, are now serving as a kind of a impellers to be born in this. So if you have a little excess of good deeds, merit, something like that, you can be born here. Sorry, the door is closed. You've got to go somewhere. And if you do something a little, then you go down there. Wait for a while. But these realms are all temporary. You've got to wait for a while to get here. So there's a huge queue for this. This is the best. So we may think, oh, there are gods and superior. No, nothing superior about that. Sometimes the gods do stupid things also. So Swami Vivekananda is very, very clear. The cow does not tell lies, but the cow is a cow. A human being tells lies and does all the mistakes and becomes a god. And there you are. A wall doesn't tell lies. So what is there? You must be very clear. We do make mistakes. We come out of our mistakes. We do something good. It helps others. And as we keep on and on, we learn from our experiences and then we can attain the highest. The living free, the Jivan Mukti, is had here. And this is what religion keeps on telling you. You can attain freedom, liberation now in this body. It's not a post-mortem state. I have to die. There are those kind of, you gradually keep on graduating yourself as this. From the low. It's called a krama. It's called a sequential liberation. You go from the lowest, bhur, bhuva, sva, ma, jana, tapa, satya. And when the cycle is going to come to an end, you will be absorbed. And then you don't have to be reborn. But that's a long way off. Very long way off. The best thing is, do it now. Yeah. What stops you? Nothing stops you. There was a king used to inquire of every passing monk. He's saying, what do I need to do to free myself? Well, and he was never satisfied. So he asked one monk, what do I need? So the monk goes to this kind of a pillar like this. He holds it and saying, free me. So the king says, unlock your hands from the pillar and you come. You're free. You held it. The same thing with you. What do you mean free me, free me? You are holding on to something. Come out of it. This comes when the soul is mature. When it lets go. And there you are. Oh yeah, I was free. And this can take place in the human body. So this is the highest, you can say, the best, highest and the best plane of existence. So you know what we are. Human beings are like worms. No. There's nothing more to it. So the first thing is hope and expectation that destroyed. Let's look at this. Hope and what is hope? When we hope, we've heard of certain things and we've seen other people attaining those things and we hope. Hope is a poor man's bread, they say. A person, Swami Vivekananda says, I have not the least sympathy of a person who can live on hope. Can you live on hope? No. You've got to have something solid. You've got to attain that. Simply hoping and not doing anything will not let you get that particular thing. Yet it is a part of your heart. Hope. You hope. I hope I get her this. I hope I get her that. You work towards it. This world is a world of karma. Work. There is nothing that is impossible to attain in this world. And the means, work. Yes. Nothing. So simply sitting down at a corner of a street and say, I'm hoping I get a better car. What's that kind of rubbish? And then hope and expectation. You sit down and wait and wait and wait. Yeah, patience. Be patient. Yeah, really. You've grown old. You're going to die. How patient can you be? So this is something we need to understand. You have hope, you have expectation, yeah, but get into the field of work and work yourself there and attain that thing. If you want to become Brahman, you can attain Brahman. Put in that kind of hard work. You want to be anything, you can. So, in this world, we have a tremendous sense of, you can say, first, the idea of life is precious and we've got a means to make it even better and better. So that's why they say this world is a karma bhumi, the place for work. You have come here through work, through your previous karma, and you can go anywhere you can through karma. So this boy who has entered here like kind of fire, blazing, he'll destroy all these things of us, hope and expectations. And then he says, the result of holy association. They say the satsanga, sadhu sangha. When you live with good people, you imbibe their qualities. It depends. The person is known by the company he keeps, he or she keeps. There, you can understand it. A crow will stick around with crows, not with pigeons. Yeah. You have your own clique, A person can be understood by the... Actually, no, they are not my friends, but I've just been there. No, you're associating with them. There it is. So when we interact with others, we take some of their qualities and they take some of... Yes, it is an actual transfer that goes on. We learn from others. We grow in knowledge through others. And so this dynamism is always necessary for people who are on a spiritual path. You stay with the good people. Yes, stay with the good people. So what? Yes, we help each other. And we protect each other. So, even the results of all that good company will go away. And sweet discourse. Actually, they said soon Ritam. Ritam is like Sri Ramakrishna is called Om, Ring, Ritham. What is Ritham? Ritham is actually the cosmic laws that govern this universe. Not a physical laws. Of course, there is something in cosmic law. And when it comes a little down, condenses, it becomes Dharmam. So Ritham, Dharmam. Dharmam is that which holds everything together. And when it comes a little down, it becomes Satyam. So it is that same truth which is expressed in our daily life. Those cosmic laws, You've got to be one with the cosmos. How do I do it? Well, you've got to be like this. Satyam, Dharmam and Ritham. It's a tremendous. We actually embody all these cosmic laws. And when we are one with it, we become one with this universe. That is why they say, speak the truth, Satyam. So, Sumritam is when we are discoursing, we are talking, we are doing everything, we have to embody those kind of things, those laws, the highest law. So, Dharma is generally translated as religion. Dharma is actually that which holds everything together. Truth holds everything together. Rhythm holds everything together. These are the, you can say, the spiritual laws that govern every particle of matter. So all this will fly away if you don't serve that young boy who's come. And sacrifices and charities, oh my God, all these sacrifices you have done and all these charities that you, charities was always a part of sacrifice towards as it developed. Charity itself was held as a kind of a sacrifice. That's the highest sacrifice. There are 3 types of sacrifices of charity, they say. The gift of knowledge, Swami Vivekananda says, the gift of life, and the gift of food. Or you can say the material things. The highest is the gift of knowledge. Even if you give life to somebody, save somebody, if it's a life in ignorance, there is not much use of it. So the gift of knowledge is the highest gift. That is dana, that is charity. Sacrifices, yes. When we sacrifice, sometime back there was telling me, well, there's 108 beads in a rosary. Why 108 beads? So I was trying to because it's with your breath and this and that. Then I said, actually, there's a secret behind. What is the secret? 8 for you, 100 for the others. What? No, yes. All what you do, the major portion of what you do goes to others. Yes. And then you wonder, I've done so much and I've got so little. Yeah, don't worry. It's got, it benefited the world. And that's the reason he said, when you sacrifice, anything can become a sacrifice, a physical act or a mental act or sacrifice. And this idea of sacrifice has been somehow intuited by the earliest people in all books. Even in the Bible, the first thing or second thing or third thing you will get is the sacrifice of Cain and Abel. There, God is pleased and God is displeased with one guy. Sacrifice. So, in all cultures, in all religions, this idea of sacrifice is central. And it's not only that, the whole of religion is based on this concept of sacrifice. We know we have to sacrifice the small for the higher. Everything we do is a form of sacrifice. We've got to sacrifice our selfishness in order to grow. I either read a book or go out to watch a movie. Well, you've got to give up one. You can't go to a movie and read a book. This guy has come from some nutty place. You have to give up one. So giving up the low for the higher is considered sacrifice. So these sacrifices, all the sacrifices of this god of death, all will be dissipated. Sons and cattle, what is more dear to you? Your own children, everything. And the cattle was wealth, of course. So this person who disparages a person like this, who has come to do holy begging at your place should be treated well. Simple as that. If you don't, these are the consequences. And somehow these things have trickled down over and over in Indian society for thousands of years. You better be careful. Hey. So I remember once my friend had gone to beg and we got to take the name of God before a house. So he says Narayana Hari. There are two names of God, is it? So from inside, they say, there is neither Narayana here nor Hari here. It's a proper name, noun also. People are named Narayana and Hari also. So he probably thought that somebody is calling Narayana and Hari. It's the name of God. In India, we have this kind of confusion at times. Then that guy opens the door and he sees a monk. I'm so sorry. Please come here. No, I'm very sorry. I was in the middle of something. And there he was. You take this and take that. No, I've got to take it. Just a little of what you can offer. So he was very contrite. Why? Because if that monk or somebody leaves that place, of course before leaving he has to bless that house. That's another thing. So if you give a little food, you get a free blessing. And if you leave, that guy blesses you, but you don't know what will be the result. This, there. So a little food, a little kind of drink will do good to us and to everyone. We will take this. We have a little time, so we can take this. Next verse. Tisro ratrir yadavatse grihe me anashnan brahman atidir namasya namastestu brahman swasti mestu tasmat pratitrin varan vrineshwa. Well, so here Yama, the god of death, Vaivasvata as it comes, he returns home and his wives or his ministers say, quickly get it. And he then approaches the boy who is waiting outside. And then he says these words, "O Brahmana, since you have lived in my house for 3 nights without food, a guest and an adorable person as you are," there you are, "let my salutations be to you." I salute you. And then, let good accrue to me by averting the fault arising from that lapse. Ask for 3 boons. One in respect of each night you were hungry. There. Slowly the Upanishad now takes up the theme of what is titled the knowledge of Brahman. So he gets the first boon. And see, guys, the boys, these, I don't know what deals. There are many stories about how we waste these boons, kind of. However, just to, there was Swami Satyamayananda who loved tea. And one day he prepared a hookah for Swami Vivekananda. And Swami Vivekananda was mighty pleased. So he said, "Hookah," he used to call him Hookah. "What boon do you want? Tell me. Ask." "No, I don't want anything. I got everything." So Raja Maharaj, go, ask something. He is now in the state of, you can say, Shiva. That is, he is going to grant you any boon. You think, don't ask something. "I want my morning cup of tea." And everybody bursts out laughing. "So be it, tadastu." And he unfailingly got his morning cup of tea. There it was. So, you're feeling very expansive. Yama is feeling very expansive. Okay, I've got to protect myself from this guy, from this fault. So I'll give you 3 boons for 3 nights. He didn't know what he was getting himself into. The tables turned and he got all the secrets from him. The boy got all the secrets from him. He tried to dissuade him, but he wasn't dissuaded easily. So he approaches saying, you've lived in my house for 3 nights without food. And what kind of a guest he is? An adorable person as you are. Yeah, there you are. Long, you can say, tradition, Vedic tradition has made him kind of adorable. And let my salutations be to you. So, though Yama is a grown-up and he's a god and he's this, he's that, yet he's making salutations to this boy. So there is something in us that calls up a kind of a respect. When we see a young child also playing some musical instrument, we will stand up and clap. Wow! There is something, it's called a pratibha. There is some talent or something inside you that makes the whole world stand up and applaud and clap and be happy with you. This is actually what happens. So, he's a god, he shouldn't make salutations to this boy. No. He sees that this boy's sincerity, purity and learning, whatever, and there he becomes humble and offers salutations to him. And afterwards, please, as I said, please be kind to me. It's not that. Make good accrue to me. The word used is swasti, and that from that is come the swastika. How things have managed to change and be mutilated and distorted. Swasti means good fortune. The literal meaning of the word is to be within oneself. Swa, oneself, asti, to be. To dwell within oneself. That is the meaning of swasti. So, and how things have changed. So it's a symbol used by Hindus and Buddhists and Jains also. It was even predating these religions. This was a kind of a universal, it was a kind of a circle. The circle of samsara. There keeps on and on and on. So let good accrue to me. So you ask for 3 boons. So next month we will see. The first 2 boons we'll try to get that. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.